Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Hi, my name is Asha. I go to Lawrenceburg Technical College, and I moved here a year ago from California. I wanted to be a cosmetologist and study hair, nails, and makeup. You should come join us at Lawrenceburg Technical College and learn all about cosmetology.
Tennessee Flight Training. We are training the next generation of pilots. Come and see why Tennessee Flight Training is the best way to learn to fly. Tennessee Flight Training. The skies are calling.
Whether you're shopping in Lawrenceburg, Loretto, Summertown, or Mount Pleasant, Teagan's Food Stores has you covered with the best quality food at the best prices. From Cash Saver to Superama and CB Foods, stop by your neighborhood Teagan's Food Store today.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
On a very cold Thursday morning, as you can see, we are actually inside the clubhouse, I guess you could say, here at Wohali here with Daniel Creel and Jason Vaughn. And guys, we went from 80s last week to down to the 40s, and got really cold really quick, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It's been, for golfers, probably a shock. And we were giving junior clinics Monday night, and honestly, it wasn't terribly cold, but our bodies are not used to it. My hands were just locking up. So yeah, just getting the bodies adapted to it takes a little bit of time. But the good thing out here at Wohali is they got the heat about to be turned on, so we have gas heat, so you can come out here and it can be whatever temp, and you're going to be very comfortable.
Yeah, Jason.
I think the same thing is adjusting, and so I was telling Daniel Monday when we had that, I didn't feel like that I could get my feet or my hands to cooperate. Like my feet were cold and my hands were cold. You know, and your extremities, tend to do that when you're really cold, and when you go from, it being 80 degrees to being, 40, and the north wind, the thing about it is temperature is temperature. It is what it is, but when you get that north wind and the wind chill tends to drop down, it can be really rough on the body and my contacts. So I know you wear glasses, but if you ever wear your contact, it's bad on contacts.
Yeah, they dry them out so quickly.
For sure.
It's ridiculous how bad they dry them out. Well, guys, obviously with the weather dropping down, I know the warmer weather's on the way for temporarily, but it's going to continue to drop down. So that's our theme today, is what you do when it gets cold. There's a lot of stuff. Obviously, you can still do stuff outside. It's not as, easy as it would be in the spring or in the summer, but start off here, what kind of good things you can do when the weather turns cold?
The number one thing is we're in a place where you can play golf year round, so don't put up the clubs. A lot of people put them in the closet, forget about it, do the hunting thing or another hobby, whatever it may be. And golf, the key is just kind of staying loose and trying not to start over in the spring. A lot of people work on their game through the summer and the spring before, and you just don't want to lose that progress. So staying loose, stretching, getting with a golf instructor and just talking to them about what stretches you can do to stay limber and what's going to be targeting the golf game. There are stretches out there for that, little exercises, functional strength exercises are really good. But probably the biggest thing is home simulators have become really affordable.
Yeah.
And with the new Tomorrow Golf League launching in January, it's the big competitors in the golf world are already buying and investing in this home sim for entertainment kind of thing, and it's really taken off. The more competition there is, prices will drop. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, you can get introductory units that read ball and club data fairly accurate for $600. Yeah. Hit into a net, you can go to Dick's and buy a net for $50, $60, and as long as you have a hitting matter off the grass or whatever, you can play sim golf and you can play golf courses. What's really neat about that is you can track your data. It'll store in your phone, and you can share that with a golf instructor or a professional, and really hone in your game and make some. I always tell my students it's a good time to really make those hard changes, really focus on it, focus on one movement, and really just commit to repairing it.
Yeah. Jason?
I echo, the sim thing. Hadn't known a lot about them, and I guess during when COVID hit, in 2020, I bought one that you could either set up outside or you could set up inside, hook it up to a TV or hook it up to a projector, whatever you wanted to do. And so did kind of the same thing that Daniel was talking about, got a net, put it in the basement, and it was something that the kids could use. My kids, because they play high school golf, I've got 2 of them that are on the golf team, and coming into the golf season, because the golf season here in Alabama is in January, their practice is going to start at the end of January, it's going to be cold. And so it just is. You may have a warm day every once in a while, but it's going to be cold. And so if we're practicing up until, Thanksgiving or something like that, and then you hit these cold snaps, time changes, it gets, and they can't make it out here to a driving range that has lights like Wohali, then having that in the basement or in the garage or wherever in a room in your house, if you've got ceilings that are high enough to swing, I think can be really invaluable, because as Daniel says, it's a great time during the winter to make a big change or a hard change or something that you want to do in your golf swing that you wouldn't want to do when you're playing a lot. And so because it's hard to make a change like that and play on top of it, it's just you can't do it. And people that, if you try to do it, you're going to end up playing bad golf. And so that's where I think that sim can come in handy. You can do a lot of different things. There's games on it for kids. You can play golf. You got a driving range on there. You've just got a number of things. And when I bought mine, it was about, I paid premium because, actually extra than premium, because it was during COVID and everybody was buying them, and so they were sold out. But I wanted one, so I paid double what it was worth. But now, you can get, good ones for $500, $600, $700 that are decent enough to play the games you want to play, and then you can get some that can do everything for $2,000, $3,000. So it's very, very probably an inexpensive way, because you can use it during the summer too out on the driving range. So it's a multi-use piece of equipment.
Where can people find these, and what are the best value ones for those?
So typically, you're not going to find any at a local store.
Right.
Even your Best Buys and things like that, Edwin Watts, any Madison Golf, any of these golf shops, you're not going to find that. They're not something that they hold inventory because of the high cost. So you're going to go online, make sure if you're interested. They're running specials every month. Black Friday seems to last all year now. There's always specials.
It does.
So if you just get on these email lists, if you're not in a hurry, just get on an email list. They're going to throw out 15, 20% off here and there. Starting out units, Garmin, the R10 is really good. It's $600. It's been proven. It's out 2 years. Really nice unit, easy to set up. It goes straight to your smartphone. So all you need is the unit and a phone. Mm-hmm. And you can use it outdoors, or you can hit into a net. Then you got the Rapsodo, which is a direct competitor. It came out last year. Same price range, around $600. Then you're going to step up into, there's kind of a gap between that all the way up to about $2,000, you're going to get into the Flight Scope. And Flight Scope is a proven unit. It actually started out as a defense system tracking missiles and bullets. So, and it was more so missiles, and that technology Wimbledon purchased, and Wimbledon uses it during the tournament when it tracks the tennis balls and where it's landing. Flight Scope tracks baseballs, footballs, tennis balls, anything with a ball. It started out with cricket as well. It started out with cricket.
For sure.
So these things are really trusted, and that's a very big name brand. And for an entry unit, if you want something that's reliable, that you can really kind of count on, that's consistent from shot to shot, you need to get to that $2,000 range, and there's some add-ons that you can do. And then after that, you're stepping up to Full Swing, which is about to be a household name with Tomorrow Golf League. That's the one with Tiger and Rory. That's awesome. They have 6 teams across the country. They're going to come in and play arena golf, and they're using Full Swing units. And honestly, the unit is excellent. And it's around $4,900. And then, honestly, you can go all the way up to $30,000 in these units. So I think most people can comfortably have something very reliable for around that $2,000 range. And if you and honestly, it sounds like a lot, but when people are spending, a stock set of clubs without woods right now is $1,200, $1,300.
Between 12 and 15,
If you add wedges, you add drivers, you add putters, you're at $4,000 pretty easy with a golf bag. Partner with a unit if you're really committed to getting better. And all you got to do is grab a few lessons, understand what you're looking, and learn how that data works, and it quantifies the swing. So basically it tracks club and ball data, and that's all you really need to get an outcome. And the beauty is so many people are reactive to shots on the course. They forget about what they're working on. When you're hitting into a net, you can forget about where the ball goes and just look at the data and focus on what's causing the result, not going to the result and working your way back, which can be tricky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. And I'm going to have you speak to it in just a minute, is once you get that, I think Flight Scope is probably one of the best for the money. I believe that. And then projector or non-projector, at the way that I have it set up is I have it set up to my iPhone or my iPad. Then I have it screenshot up to a TV that I have in the basement. And so you get, it's a little bit bigger, so you get to see the data is bigger than on your phone. But Daniel's right, all you really need is your phone or your iPad, and you can get the information right there. I just put it up on the TV because it was a little easier for old eyes to see, and then also for my kids to follow. They thought it was cooler. But getting a projector and a projector screen is not that expensive now as well. A short throw projector, you could use that, or you could use a different one. If you wanted it to be a lot cleaner and things like that, they make some, like the one that you have, that is a really good projector. And then depending on how much you want to spend on the screen, you can go into the screen that I had. Would leave a ball imprint when you hit it. They make them now that don't, like the one that you have. When you hit it, it doesn't leave that ball print up there as long. It may not even leave one at all, if I'm remembering correct. But so that there, you can in that part you can go a little bit more expensive just to get, but you don't necessarily need that to make your to make the practice, like what he's talking about with the path and all. I mean, you can see that just on your phone, but you could go all in, and it could be just like, and most people do this while I'm going down this route, is I think most people do that so they actually feel like they're hitting into the driving range somewhat. So it makes it maybe somewhat a little bit more real, rather than just hitting into a net and then looking at. So just depends on, I guess, how much money you got and what you want and what you want to see. So
yeah, there's if you are in the market, there are like a few websites that have a lot of the monitors on there. Google nowadays is nice to have, so you can just Google launch monitors indoor. But some things you want to look out for is you need to know the size of your space, where you're hitting. If you buy a radar unit, which is one that typically sits behind the golfer, you need about 7 to 10 feet behind the golfer. And then also the unit's shooting out radar constantly, so it needs to actually track the ball until it hits the screen. The longer it has to track the ball, the more consistent your readings are going to be. So if you buy a cheaper unit, it really needs further, because it's sending out less, I guess, signals per second. So you might get inconsistent readings in a enclosed space with the cheaper ones. That's why you buy a higher dollar one, because the signals are stronger and it doesn't need as much distance to travel. Then they have some that are photoscopic units. They're either going to sit in the ceiling or just to the side of the golf ball, which are really cool because literally they only track 3 feet of the hitting zone, and they can track your club and ball. Some of them take up to 10,000 photos a second, and it's legit. Those are really, really good. Foresight Sports and Bushnell actually have a unit that's competitive in that, and Unicor has one as well. And those start out around the $4,000 range. So to get a photoscopic unit, those are ideal for indoors. But if you're going to do indoor and outdoor, the photoscopics work that way as well. But radar actually tracks the ball to its peak or till when it lands. So again, if you need advice, contact us over here at Wohali.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coming up next here on the Back Nine, brought to you by Wohali Sports. Guys, we'll talk about some of the exercises you can do indoors when the weather gets cold.
Great food is just a short drive to Heine's Barbecue in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Heine in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Heine Shine lemonade, and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Heine sauces, snacks, and more. Heine's Barbecue, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
You're gonna see me shine, 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 walking on beams of light, 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 light.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Back Nine, brought to you by Wohali Sports. And guys, we talked about some of the technology that you could use when it gets cold that you can do indoors in your house. What are some of the exercises that our prospective golfers can use while the weather gets cold and now you can work up your body here in the quote-unquote off season?
Yeah, and so exercises are pretty much client specific. You don't just want to throw out exercises, but there are some good ones. I mean, you want to do anything that works on stability and functional strength. And what I mean, you don't have to go out there and lift a lot of weights. If you had some little heavy, like medicine balls that have the sand in them, kettlebells, and some resistance bands, you can really do some really good stuff. And if you have social media, I mean, you can just tap into some really reliable people on stability. And what I mean stability is you'll see a lot of people working on rotation while keeping their hips faced forward, and they're pulling, resistance bands or working their strength on their balance. anything functional, stability, and rotational will be good. And don't be scared to get on the floor and really stretch it out. And really push it. Make it a little bit uncomfortable. Don't hurt yourself. But again, I got a lot of students that I prescribe quite a few stretches, and I've retested, and they go through the motions of the stretches. They spend their 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is per week doing them, but they're just going through the motions and not really pushing themselves to encourage that what we're trying to do, stretch. You know what I'm saying? So I think push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, just anything if you really want to get a little bit of a sweat working, those are really good, just using body weight. But yeah, stretching is something you need to do, and it's just going to make you, I get more compliments on the programs that we submit, more just they feel better everyday life. Just I feel better when I wake up, and that's how, I don't know about you, but when I talk to them, I'm like, at the end of the day, what I'm testing you for, you should be able to wake up without stretching at all and do the movements that I'm showing you. And if you can't do it, there's a problem, and it just makes you feel better.
Yeah, it's functional living. I mean, it's not just golf swing things. This is functional movement, like, you know, bending down and getting a bowl out of the cabinet, or, you know, turning around and, you know, putting the trash in a trash can, or mowing the yard, or using a wheel, or different things like that. You know, working on balance, which is, you know, I think huge in the golf swing. Not only will it help your golf swing, but it's also going to help you as a person, just with going up and down stairs, or, you know, getting in your car, doing different things like that, you know, so you don't fall down, you don't hurt yourself. Those are also going to benefit, because if they're like me during the winter, as I've gotten older, I don't do as much as I used to. I mean, I used to go to the gym every day. We both did, often. And so I don't do that as much as I should. And so you lose a lot of just your being out, walking around, mowing the yard, you know, doing different stuff. So during the winter, all that kind of goes. And so, but there is things that can be done inside. And like Daniel said, bands. I've gotten online or on Amazon. I bought a Bosu ball, which is flat on one side, and then it's got the air, or the, you know, kind of the rounded. You can do sit-ups on that. You can do balance on the other side, which is what they had me doing and for rehab with my knee. You can hold on to the rail and stand on that Bosu ball, and then let go, you know, and balance yourself for 5 seconds, and then come back on. And so, like Daniel said, there are these YouTube videos that will tell you the things that you can do, show you how to do it, and or better yet, come out and let one of us talk to you about those things and help you with that, and then you will get better in the off season and come into, you know, February, March, you know, we could be ahead of the game, ahead of even where we left off, you know, with the flexibility, with the strength, with the balance, with the functional strength, and increasing, you know, the swing speed and things, just by doing these exercises during the winter time. When there's, what else are you going to do? Sit on the couch and watch TV? I mean, we might as well be up doing something that's going to benefit the sport we love to play, but also benefit daily life. So I think that's where both of these things, I've always been very passionate about fit. That's my degree. I love it, and I think it can be so beneficial to everybody.
So say a golfer wants to go into the gym. What kind of things do you guys suggest while they say go to the weight room, or go to a local gym somewhere around here?
Yeah, gyms, I mean, you can go throw weights around. I think me and Jason learned the hard way. That's an easy way to hurt yourself. I've gotten torn labrums on both shoulders. I mean, I got addicted to the gym and worked out heavy, and that's just not the best thing to do. I mean, look at like a Tiger Woods. I mean, he really worked out. He got really addicted to it, loved the way. I mean, it's once you start seeing those gains, not only physically, like seeing yourself, but actually pushing more weight, where men, you just kind of
Yeah.
push harder, right?
Testosterone gets going.
It's just something about it. I don't really advise that. I think getting strong, and I really hone in on the word functional strength.
Right.
Most people just don't have functional strength. They're weaker than what they're supposed to be for their size. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So identifying where you need improvement. So we can look at somebody's swing and see where, so think about this, the body, the club doesn't hit the ball without the hands and the body. So everything moves first and it feeds to the hands, then through the club to the club head. So if the body can't move appropriately, the club head's going to be delivered the way that it is. So a lot of people think that flaws in their swing are just technique. They're not. They're mobility and functional and stability limitations in the body. So you need to really identify. So I mean, yeah, we encourage going to social media and looking at it, but again, that's a dark hole. You can get lost in it. So you need to see a professional like one of us, and we can sit there and say, hey, this is really going to target the areas in your swing. So going to the gym, I always say stick to the cable machines, resistance bands, kettle, just do movements, keep moving. I know I would stick away with low reps and high weight. I would do more of low weight.
High reps.
Yeah, that's right. And I used to laugh at people when they told me that, but I regret it, honestly. So where I see problem areas with most people is hip flexors, because we sit down all the time. Activating the glutes. I used to laugh when Tiger said that. I got to activate my glutes. And I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, now I know, and it's a real thing.
It is.
You really need to know. I mean, we sit in a chair most of the time. We don't activate the glutes or our hip flexors, and we're limited in our lower body mobility. And I see a lot of lats issues, tighten the lats, and that goes all the way down to your pelvic muscles and the controls the muscles around the pelvis, and you have very little pelvic tilt. And pelvic tilt's critical to rotation. So if you're tight in your upper back, it also limits your shoulders. A lot of people come over the top, and it's because they don't have mobility in their shoulders, and they're like, well, my shoulders, well, that could be caused between the muscles in the shoulder blades. So you target those, which can free up the range of motion in your shoulders. So there's a lot to it that can go in depth. And instead of going in there and guessing if you're really committed to this, come check us out and we'll help. But at the end of the day, you can just go to the gym. And those cable machines, I love those cable machines.
Yes.
I have a tonal at home, and that's what we use, and it's just basic. You can do everything on that. But those ones with the cables on both sides is what I'm talking about. You can get on the ground, you can get on a bench, and you can do everything.
I'll echo that with the cables, and then I think compound movements. So, which is what some of them can hurt, some of them are good, some of them are not good. I personally bench press, like with the bar, out, don't do it.
Right.
Overhead press with a bar, no. And if you're going to do those type of exercises, like Daniel was saying, you can pull the bench over in between the cables, use that. If you want to use dumbbells, go lighter. And then I would also start to do single arm stuff. So then if you're going, so that's going to help strengthen both sides. And that's why I've kind of gotten away from when people talk about doing bench press with the bar or things like that, is not only is it bad for your shoulder, your rotator cuff and things like that, it can be detrimental. Your strong side is going to always take over. So if you're doing dumbbells, you actually are building the strength on both sides of your body. So whether you're doing shoulders or whether you're doing some rows or anything like that, try to use dumbbells more. So it's single arm exercises. Cables are going to help you stay in a range of motion. I think also going over and looking at the machines that your gym would have and utilizing those for maybe shoulder press or bench press or things like that, or lateral raises or things like that. And what that does is number one, you're going to stay in the same, usually, unless you do something crazy, it's going to keep you in the same plane or same range of motion or same plane of motion. And it's not going to allow you to really get way off base, which is going to cause injury. And we both, Daniel and I both, like he said, used to work out very heavy, and I would do stupid things in the gym to try to get bigger and stronger. And his shoulders are bad, my knees are terrible, because I loved doing bent over rows and things like that with a dumbbell as heavy as I could get it, or from the ground, shoulder raise it, things like that. And so if I could go back and do it again, I would not, because you can get just as strong or just as functionally strong, or if you want to get more than functionally strong, like we were trying to do, you can do that on a machine, or with a dumbbell, or with the cables as well. And you don't have to end up injuring yourself or anything like that. But I would make sure and see a professional to help you with the program, and then get you, tell you what to kind of use.
And they have ease of apps now. I mean, you can log into an app and tell, you got virtual trainers that you can tell them, hey, what your goals are, and they can help you. But beyond all that, a cheap way to do this, if you're wanting to just get overall better health-wise, is, Scheffler endorses something called Golf Forever.
And it's wonderful.
And it's great, and it's a kit that comes with everything you need, and it's probably $180, something like that. And literally, it even has something you can just close a door and it locks in, and you can do it. And it's just a straight metal bar. It actually screws together so you can do different exercises, but it just has resistance on one side. And again, the resistance on one side is for functional strength, because you're moving it and it's over here, and then you can go to your left side or non-dominant side, whatever it is, and do it over there. And you can do all kinds of workouts. I use one called the Rip Stick, it's TRX. The Rip Stick has been around for years and years for multiple sports, but golf is really adapted to it, and then Golf Forever came out, so you can look for the Rip Stick and Golf Forever, and they have programs. Literally, you get it, you scan it on your phone, and you can see the whole program. I mean, they don't charge you any extra, and that is just a quick and easy way you can wake up, spend 20 minutes, and you're benefiting tremendously off of it. They're great.
Yeah, I have an old school one from the door, the Body by Jake.
Yeah.
Jake's still alive, man. Things still work.
That's a good thing. If Jake's still alive, that's good.
Jake's still alive, and hey, it works for me. So coming up next here, we'll dip into the mailbag here with the pros on the Back Nine, brought to you by Wohali Sports.
Truett's Garage Doors in Leoma, Tennessee is your one-stop for new garage door installations for all commercial and residential buildings, plus they offer full service on all existing doors. Need a new garage door opener? Truett's Garage Doors has you covered. As an AMAR Gold and LiftMaster dealer, Truett's Garage Doors offers the best pricing anywhere in the area. A family-owned and operated business, Truett's Garage Doors has been helping Tennessee and Alabama residents since 1999. Call the pros today at Truett's Garage Doors, 931-201-6464.
If there ever was such a thing as a company that could do almost anything, well, Teneke Properties is it. These guys know how to completely transform your existing home into something new, or just do it room by room. Need a new bathroom or kitchen? What about a fresh coat of paint? Even a new floor? Looking for dirt work? Teneke has you covered. Oh, and you can even rent a dumpster from them too. That's Teneke Properties. Visit Teneke.com or phone 931-244-4602.
You're gonna see me shine, 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 shine. Walking on beams of light, 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 light. Oh, oh, oh,
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Back Nine, brought to you by Wohali Sports. Time to dip into the mailbag, and a question kind of personally from me, guys, and I found this out a couple weeks ago when I finally went out and played around. Had to go get some new golf balls, and last time I talked to Jason about it, he convinced me not to get the $10 grab bag. Learned a lot. I mean, you could do a whole episode on the misconception of the grab bag, but when it comes to golf balls, you look at it, and even when I was at Walmart, I was overwhelmed by, you see all the big names, you see all the fancy stuff on the box, and then you look at all the prices. So what's kind of the best bang for your buck? What's the best golf ball that you can get out there?
Man, that's, again, it's one of those questions to really, it's kind of a loaded question because, yes, I do believe that there's better balls for individuals. So we actually do ball testing, but if you don't hit it consistent enough,
doesn't matter.
You're not going to really know the difference. So if you're losing a lot of golf balls on the course, then go out there and budget it and buy just golf balls to have fun. I would stick away from the really hard. I would try to get a multi-cover ball, not just a one-piece ball. Those don't really feel good. They jar the hands a little bit more. Performance-wise, they're probably not a lot different, but get something that feels a little softer. But again, I mean, for most people, they're not going to recognize huge benefits from going out and buying a $60 dozen of balls versus that I'd say stick between that $30 and $40 range. If that's within your budget and you're not losing all 12 when you go out there, you're going to find a good ball there. Max Fly has some great balls. Honestly, they've actually tested really well against some of the premium balls. If you go to YouTube, there's My Golf Spy on there, has different tests. And it shows based on swing speeds what balls might perform better for you. If you go to a channel called Pin Seeker, I do reviews on there and I actually test balls. And the Vice and the Kirkland are pretty good balls. And the Vice tested, and it's a $32 dozen ball. And that one tested nearly like a Pro V1 and Pro V1X. They were really good, really durable. They feel good. They got unique designs, and honestly, I would say for a budget ball, I would say Vice is going to perform the best for the money, just off my personal testings. But I think Vice is you only buy those online.
Well, it used to be a DTC. It used to be a direct-to-consumer. You can get Vice at Walmart now.
You can get Vice at Walmart.
I thought I saw those at Walmart.
And so, which is really cool because I love that ball.
It's a good ball, and it validates it. It actually is a very good ball. Kirkland is in the same price market, and Kirkland is like the Costco version.
I was getting ready to ask if that was the Costco version.
It was quite a bit. If you're going off distance, it spun more. So if you're looking for a lot of spin, softness around the greens, hey, that's good. And if you're really slow swing speed, you need that spin to get lift and hit the ball higher. So if you're a junior golfer, for all the adults that are out there buying balls for juniors, a Kirkland might be really good for them because it creates lift and gets the ball in the air, and that can be your friend. But if you're swinging faster, you already got the speed, you're getting the lift. You might want to lower the spin a little bit, and the Vice would be pretty good. And then every company's pretty transparent. It's a very competitive market in the ball industry. And their data, I mean, they're pretty upfront about what to look for when you're choosing a ball. I mean, most of them have websites that you can key in your characteristics, swing characteristics, and it tells you which ball. Callaway's a good ball. The Srixon balls are pretty good. TaylorMade's good. I've never really dabbled with Bridgestones, but I'm sure Tiger plays it. It's great.
The BXS is the ball that Tiger plays, and it is very similar to your Callaway Chrome Soft, and actually I think is a very good ball. And then you got the BRXS, which is there right below, the RXS, which is a step below. It's like $10 below. And then I even think the E12 Soft, I had my daughter playing the E12 Soft, which is a Bridgestone ball, which performs very similar to your mid-range ball throughout both companies. I think you made a good point. Most of the high school girls that I see that are on the teams, they don't swing very hard. I mean, they're not swinging 90 miles an hour or 100 or 95 or whatever, and they play a Pinnacle. or a super soft or something that doesn't have a lot of spin. So, and then they hit it and it's low, super low. I think that's good information that you gave about going to maybe the Kirkland, so they don't have to go buy a Pro V1 that costs $55 to try to get that extra spin or whatever. That Kirkland ball that's going to spin a little more, that's great. Like you said, it helps them get the lift, it helps them hit it a little bit higher. So many times they get a pinnacle because they hit it in the woods and they might lose the ball, but Kirklands aren't that expensive. Yeah. So I think that can be very beneficial.
And most golfers hit it too low in general, I see.
For sure.
And a lot of people are like, I hit the ball high, and I'm like, no, you don't.
You need to hit it like 120.
And I guess the perception in marketing is low spin is better, and it's absolutely not. And you just need to learn what's best for you. Kind of like when we were growing up, everybody wanted an extra stiff or a tour shaft.
That's right.
Because that was the cool thing to have, and it just did our games
terrible.
Zero benefit. But yeah, also another thing you can do with balls, which is fun, is they got creative with designs, colors. You can really let your personality show it, with the ball designs. But what's really cool behind these ball designs, the ones that have multiple logos on them or the lines, is they're really, even the ones like the Chrome, not the Chrome Soft, but the Truvis.
Yes.
Those logos are on there in a way that when you putt, it helps you line up, and how they roll tells you if you hit a good stroke or not. TaylorMade does the same thing. Strixon has the double-sided two colors.
It's a great training aid.
And you can play with them. I actually use the triple track Callaway, and my putting I still stink at putting. That's probably the weakest part of my game. But I've improved 2 or 3 shots just by changing balls that I can help myself line up and get a feel if I hit a good putt off if I put a good roll on it. Yeah. So those designs on there actually have a purpose. Yeah. So when you buy it, use it to your advantage. Yeah.
Like always, man. I just ask these guys one question, they go, and I feel infinitely informed by this all the time. I don't even play that much, and I feel like I'm a better golfer listening to these two guys go. So that will do it for the Back Nine here, brought to you by Wohali Sports. So for Daniel, Jason, for our producer Kevin, I'm AJ Good. See you guys next week.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.